Welcome back to the Distressed Princess. I'm Rhonda. In today's video, I'm working on some ghosty DIYs. And remember to give me a like and subscribe if you like my content. Let's get started with DIY number 1. For 3 of the ghosts that I'm making today, you'll need flour sack towels, and I found this package of 5 at the Family Dollar store for $5. And you'll want to cut the tags off of each flour sack towel that you use. And you'll need a couple other things from the Dollar Tree, including this paper towel holder and this foam soccer ball. Now, whatever ball you pick to use, it doesn't have to be this soccer ball, but it does need to be a foam ball because you're going to take a steak knife or whatever knife, utility knife, and cut a slit in it so that it will go down over the paper towel holder. Next, you'll need a bowl that you don't use for cooking and some school glue, and we're going to make a floating ghost. So the idea here is to take the flour sack towel and dip it in a mixture of water and glue, and then drape it over our soccer ball that's on the paper towel holder, and it will make the ghost shape, and it will harden and keep its shape when you remove the ball and paper towel holder later. And I used the ratio 2 parts glue to 1 part water. Then dip your flour sack towel down into the glue mixture and try to cover every single little bit of it. Then drape the flour sack towel over the soccer ball and arrange it to where you like how the fabric is hanging so that it looks nice and ghosty-like. And for extra assurance that this was going to stiffen up, I went to the Dollar General store and got some of this spray starch, and I sprayed it heavily on top. And this starch was only about $1 something. Then leave it to dry overnight. The next day, you can carefully remove the ghost from its form and keep that soccer ball and paper towel holder because you'll need it for another DIY later. And now all you have to do is decorate. My ghost did get a little bit dented when I was removing the soccer ball, but it pops right back into place. Now the bottom of my flour sack towel was still just a tiny bit wet, so it was pliable and I could tuck those under. That's up to you. If you want to leave those out, you could cut them off, but I just preferred just to tuck them. Now you have a freestanding ghost. I think it's pretty cool. And I decided to use some black buttons for eyes, and I used hot glue to attach them. Then to light them up, I'm using a strand of Dollar Tree rice lights. And I sort of curled them up just a little bit so they wouldn't just lay flat on the bottom, and I stuck them up inside of the ghost. Now you could attach them if you wanted to with some hot glue, but I didn't want to make these lights permanent. And it would also be really cute to make some more of these and kind of line them up in the center of like your dining room table with a strand of lights underneath them, and it would be a really pretty centerpiece. And you'll want to keep watching to the end of the video because I will show you what all of these light up ghosts look like at night. Here's DIY ghost number 2. For this one, you'll need one of the small cloches from the Dollar Tree, but instead of putting something inside of it, we're going to drape some material over it. So take another flour sack towel and cut a piece that will drape over the cloche, And I didn't want this one dragging the floor, so I did some trimming to get it to where it was just about the same length as what the cloche was. I wanted this fabric to stay connected to the cloche dome, so I'm using some glue. Happens to be fabric glue because I was using it for something else, but use whatever glue you want to attach the piece of fabric to the top of the cloche. Then I used the fabric glue to pinch and make pleats where I wanted them to be in the material. And I made these pleats all the way around the whole ghost. I cut eyes out of black felt, but you could use any kind of material or even construction paper. And for this ghost, I made a mouth too. Then I used fabric glue to glue them all in place. And if you wanted to, you could add your tea light and be done with this ghost, but I wanted to add a little extra to mine. So I'm making a messy bow out of some Halloween ribbon, and I'm going to tie the center with some jute string, cut it down to size so it'll fit my little ghostie's head. And I used hot glue to attach it just a little bit off kilter on her head. Look out for DIY ghost number 3. For this one, you'll need some air dry clay. I got this tub of white clay from Michael's for $6 and some change. And you'll need a tea light and some paints. To protect my surface, I used a silicone mat and I sprinkled a little tiny bit of cornstarch down so that the clay won't stick. I got out a little fistful of clay and rolled it into a ball and then kind of patted it out like a hamburger in my hands. And then I rolled it with my rolling pin until it was probably just about the size of the lid of that clay tub. Now, to shape it into a ghost shape, I'm using the bottom part of an Easter egg, and I'm going to put that on top of a little acrylic paint bottle. Then I'm draping the clay over that. A note here would be when you're rolling out your clay, don't make it too thin because it will easily break when it dries. Now go around and pinch and pleat and make the clay into your ghost shape. And remember to leave the bottom flared out enough that a tea light can fit inside it. Then while the clay is still wet, you can use a straw to poke some holes for eyes and a mouth. To make sure that my clay didn't fall back together and stayed flared out like I needed it to be, I set my bottle down inside of a measuring cup so that it had something to kind of rest on. Then leave it to dry overnight. The next morning, I saw that I had a little crack in the top of mine, but it didn't break all the way through. So that's how I knew that I probably should have left my clay a little thicker than what it was, or I possibly could have gotten it a little too heavy at the bottom. I don't know. But I was able to take some gel super glue and fix the inside of the crack so that it wouldn't break all the way. And to heal her little cracked head, I used some lightweight spackle from the Dollar Tree and just filled it in. Then she was ready for painting, and I used Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White. I gave her some little rosy cheeks by dipping the end of a pencil into some pink paint. And I used a really fine paintbrush and some gold paint to paint on some little stars and little dots. And she is a little darling, and the possibilities are endless. If you're sculpting this yourself, you could make her a hat, you could make her different colors and paint different things on her, and then add a tea light, and she's adorable. DIY ghost number 4 is kind of a big deal. For this big mamma jamma, you'll need a bell cloche from the Dollar Tree and remove that label. And this is one of the stickiest, toughest labels ever to remove. I was not ever even able to remove all of it. I just got the top part with the colors off, and that's good enough. And at the Dollar Tree, you'll also need to pick up a round plastic tablecloth. Here's what my cloche looked like trying to remove the label, and so I just left it like that, and you can't even tell. You need to find the center of the tablecloth, and this is easily done by when you're unpackaging it, you'll see that it's folded into quarters, I mean. So you need to find the corner of the quarter, and then you make a dot, and that's pretty much the center of the tablecloth. Then lay it out on your work area where you see where you marked the center and put the bell cloche directly underneath. There are already 2 holes in the top of the cloche, which is perfect for this DIY. So you'll need to take some scissors or something and poke holes where the holes in the cloche are. Then take a piece of jute string long enough for hanging your ghost and thread through the holes that you just made. Then on the inside of the cloche, you'll tie a knot to hold it secure. And then back on top of the ghost, I made a knot in the hanger so that it would hang better. For this ghost, I'm using the felt again to make eyes and a mouth. And I hot glued them on. And I used a little bit of white paint to give the eyes a little life by just putting a little dot and a mark beside the dot. And the last thing to do is add the lights. These are just another strand of rice lights from the Dollar Tree. So you need to attach the battery pack to the top of the bell cloche, underside of course. But I used hot glue and it didn't stick. So I used some foam mounting strips instead, and they are holding great. And you just let the lights string down inside of the ghost. And here's Ghost DIY number 5. Remember I told you to hang on to this setup because we're going to use it to make our final ghost, but you'll need to paint that soccer ball or whatever ball you have. You need to paint it white if it's not white already. Then drape a flour sack towel over the ball. This time I thought I would try drawing some little happy eyes on the ghost, but I turned out didn't like that. It looked like eyebrows. But I wanted to try something besides felt, so I got this velvet ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I decided to cut out eyes and a mouth from that. And I think that's better. I cut out a little zigzag mouth, and for me to get it glued on right, I needed to take the flour sack towel off of the soccer ball. But, you know, it's not attached, and I never do attach it. But if you want to, you can totally glue yours to the soccer ball. And here he is back on his soccer ball stand, and he doesn't light up. See, he's the only one in this batch that doesn't light up, but he does something even better. He's gonna ride around on this robot vacuum. So you'll need 3 of these command strip hooks, and you place them on the top of the vacuum just like you see me doing right here, and it will hold this in place, and it will also be removable. And here he is, all set and ready to clean your floors. And here's a look at all our DIY ghosts lit up at night. Remember to hit that like button. It helps my channel grow and I get more people to join our community. I hope you enjoyed this video. I sure had fun making it. And if you want to see more DIY Halloween fun, click the link that I've provided for you right here, and I'll see you next time. Bye!